In Soviet Russia, car breaks you. Oh, God. Hello, friends, and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact, and it's totally a science. Go ahead and look it up. Apologies if this episode coming at you a little bit late. For one, it's super long. For two, we had to take wifey to the OB because she's getting all dilated and whatnot, and the baby is only cooked 7 months. So I gotta be wifey's arms and legs for 6 weeks, at least. Do the best that I can, because she does a whole hell of a lot of stuff that I don't know how to do, but I'll call it help where it's needed. I don't know, man. It's crazy days around here, and it sounds like OP mirrors that sentiment, so we're just gonna dive right into the story and push on through like we do. So well wishes to wifey are appreciated in the comments if you would like. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead, get some plugs and disclaimers done, and then we will dive right into some of this Tales of Neckbeards cringe. Star Wars Shenanigans, Episode 5, The Elroy Strikes Back, Pockets. Tabletop gaming gone wrong. I kind of like where it's going. Is he like a pickpocket? He's a robber boy? Well, he's just getting more deplorable by the day, isn't he? Sorry for the delay in getting this posted. Life has been, as Gwen Stefani would put it, B-A-N-A-N-A-S. Yeah, I feel you on that, Irish pirate. Preach. But we have to make the most of every day. So what did I say? Push on through. That's what we're gonna do. And I appreciate you pushing on through and getting this posted for all of us to enjoy. I supervise a small department of group therapists at a state-funded psychiatric hospital. We are the smaller of two social work departments, the larger one being full of case managers. They are at 17 out of 36 positions filled, and as of this morning, 4 more people have tendered their resignations. Yeah, that's not going well. Why? Well, because their crumbling department is essentially 1840s Ireland. The employees they're losing are America-bound immigrants, and the department head is Phytophthora infestans. I guess that's what caused the potato famine or something like that. It's a good analogy. We had to go a long way to get there, but we got there. We will call her Blightbeard for short. Oh, this is like a side story before the story. I like this. Blightbeard came to me at the end of January 2022, begging my department to help hers, even though we've got staffing shortages ourselves. If anyone out there is a LCSW in North Carolina and you need a job, hit me up. Yeah, the only people I know with psychology degrees are in Florida and England, I do believe. But hey, you got a platform, you never know, you might get lucky and put a dent into that 17 out of 36 positions. I don't know that many people, I'm sorry. In the spirit of teamwork, I agreed to help process new admissions on top of my normal work responsibilities. Initial assessment, documentation, family contact, and initial treatment team meetings take up about 3 hours of time per patient. I was told,
you'll only be getting 1 or 2 patients a week. If you have questions or need help, feel free to call us.
I got 7 in the first week. Yeah, that's nearly a full-time load, isn't it? I got 5 the next week and 4 the week after that. Well, you're making a dent. That's good. Eventually we'll be down to the promised 1 or 2. Eventually. When I saw how many admissions we had that first week, I raised my concerns. And how did Blightbeard respond? Well, she sent an email to my supervisor saying,
OP has called 5 to 10 times every day this week with questions. We're very busy here, and he's taking up a lot of our time. If he's going to agree to help us, He needs to be able to handle the work.
No, you. What the hell is that? You're the one shuffling work off onto me. Ugh. You need to reply to that email and set the record straight. 1, I'm helping because your department can't handle the work. 2, I called 4 times the first day and 2 times each on the second and third days. I know because I had the hospital communications department pull the call logs. And even if I had called 50 times, you came to me for help. If I call you guys up and say, my pen's out of ink, the only acceptable responses on your end are, what color do you want, and felt or ballpoint. Ooh, I love that. OP out here flexing his work peen. Show him that you mean business. That's what I'm talking about. Fortunately, my boss is awesome and went to bat for me. That's a good boss. Now Blightbeard is having to address that email alongside the growing pile of complaints lodged against her in exit interviews. Sounds like she's making her own bed. She got enough problems, honestly. Anyway, normally I work on these stories on my lunch break, but this extra duty that I've taken on has made it so that I've just been constantly working through lunch. I would normally be able to write and revise and edit an episode in about the span of a week, but this one has taken considerably longer. I'm actually sacrificing video game time tonight to work on this, so allow me my rant. I need it. You're more than welcome to it. I understand how important video game time is. Believe me. I know me and Irish Pirate, we're gonna get together, play some State of Decay 2. Might make a community night of it if people in the Discord are interested. But that's neither here nor there. I also need more employees. So for realsies, if you are in LCSW, tag me in a post, PM me, send me a carrier pigeon. I really wish I knew some, but I don't even know one with that specific designation. If you enjoyed Sorry for the Late Post, Work Sucks Right Now, check out these other titles related to Irish Pirates February 2020. I took care of her for 40 years the best I could, but your Aunt Sherry got half my stuff and left me for a younger guy because he makes her feel alive, by Uncle Tony. Hey, Daddy Pirate. My male friend likes me, and I don't know how I feel about him, but I'm afraid to talk to my dad about it. By OP's stepson. What is going on here? I wouldn't kill her myself. A compendium of oddly specific phrasings by Uncle Tony. Guys, you're loud. Why are you naked? And other things that 4-year-olds say. By you and your wife forgot to lock the door. Wow, that's quite a name. His parents must not have liked him. That's why he doesn't know how to deal with kids, right? I don't know nothing about no mafia, nephew. I'm just a humble man who's blessed with many friends. By Uncle Tony. Uncle Tony is prolific. Where do I go now? The Tale of the Evicted Cousin. By OP's recently evicted cousin, no relation to Uncle Tony. Yes, what he said to the detective when we were arrested is part of why my son is being raised by his abusive dad, and DSS isn't doing anything about it, but you have to understand that he was the love of my life. By OP's sister. Part 1 of the Ungrateful trilogy. Seems kind of long-winded to me. I know OP's neighbor said she could get the body cremated for free as part of her funeral director training, but soulmate number 7 didn't want to be buried or cremated, and his life insurance policy has a stipulation that it wouldn't pay out for death by overdose. So can you guys please help me pay for a mausoleum? By OP's sister. That's part 2 of the Ungrateful trilogy. Is this real? What am I reading right now? I blasted mom and dad on Facebook for not going to the funeral of a guy that once threatened to kill them, and now my little brother sent me a text that says, you're either going to want to take that post down or block me because I'm about to post a reply that will shove our rapport in a DeLorean and send it back in time 3 years. By OP sister, and that is part 3 of the Ungrateful trilogy, the finale, if you will, and of course, various lesser annoyances. What did I just read? Are these actual posts? I kind of want to read some of them. There are others that I could avoid completely, and I'd feel really good about that. But I'd be interested in a couple. All right, thanks for that. Can you start talking about Star Wars now? Stop predicting the comments section. You know it's gonna happen. And yes, I will, but only after I clarify some stuff from episode 4. Once I hear my stories read aloud, I like to follow up and clarify points and answer questions. So first, Hal's self-assassination attempt wasn't the result of his mom being the humanized version of the universal stench of strip mall dumpster slime, you know, the nauseating olfactory abomination that comes from rancid food and the crushed dreams of retail workers that put it there. I've missed you, Irish pirate. I'm so glad that you can paint pictures like this. Write a book ASAP. I got 5 on it. No, it turns out that Hal had been taking an antidepressant medication that was doing the exact opposite of its intended purpose. It's like if you were drowning and you asked for help and the only person that stopped by put their heel on your face and just shoved you back underwater. That's not to say that Dumpsterzilla was blameless, however. She wasn't at a heel-to-face level of malice, but she was, at the very least, an incorrigible 5-year-old taking aim at Hal with a brand new Super Soaker. Second, we have check notes. Yeah, the parody. Oh, yes, the parody. It was low-hanging fruit. I saw it for what it was before the post got read and decided that I would replace it with something better. Rolling my face across the keyboard, in my opinion, probably would have sufficed. I don't imagine that anyone has the mentality of, oh boy, another Star Wars shenanigan. Better go check out that discount bin Weird Al knockoff action. Except for me. I love parody songs in stories, honestly. There's a subsection of my audience that don't like it, but guess what? There's a larger subsection that do. If you are the sort of person that loves it, then, I don't know, sorry twice, 3 times, maybe? That'll do. You tried, and that's all we could really ask of you. Believe it or not, I had been in the middle of writing a new and better parody when I messaged ReddX Tuesday morning and said I should be done with the corrected parody soon. Thanos then politely informed me that, in hindsight, I should have gone for the head. And by that, I mean ReddX told me that he had just recorded the story the night before. I didn't plan any of this out. It all kind of fell into place like that. But I have no regrets. We don't have that many sagas going at the moment. There's a lot of sagas that are open, but not being posted in regularly. So yeah, I had to slot Star Wars Shenanigans in here. Sorry twice, 3 times maybe. Despite being as satisfied with my work as Bob Hoskins was with Super Mario Brothers, there was just nothing I could do. I was Charlton Heston, falling to my knees before the ruins of my parodical credibility, such that it is. No, but really, that is 100% all right, my dude. Everybody gets to phone it in every once in a while. After 5 parts, yeah, I think you're owed one. So it be what it be. To find the other parodies, look for the Star Wars Shenanigans post on my Reddit profile, user/TheIrishPirate18, or if you want to hear ReddX read them to you, just click here, or rather in the description is more accurate if you're listening to this. So how far are we into the post? Like 25%? This might even be a new record for me. Allow me to bask in the shameful pride. The best storytellers are always a bit verbose at the beginning of the post. We're like 15 minutes in, haven't even gotten to the story yet. But that's all right. We're setting up some backstory. It's OP's show, essentially. I'm just back here giving it a voice, making little side comments when I find a nice joke to slip in. But now, we are into the cast. So for actual descriptions, see the previous works, links found above or in the description. For this installment, we're seeing how the cast responded when asked, how would you summarize Elroy in one statement? All but 2 of these are actual quotes. The others are, well, you'll see. OP summarizes Elroy as everything that I have to say about this sentient smegma golem. Smegma golem could be expressed just as easily and at half the time by slamming my head against a cinder block until one or both are broken. Alright, but tell me how you really feel though. Max says, the way he spoke to people infuriated me to no end. Every time he opened his mouth, I felt my eyes were gonna roll out of my head. Or I had to fight the urge to jump over the table and strangle him a la Homer Simpson. In a word, he was the embodiment of cringe. Whoa. Peacekeeper, a man that didn't feel alive unless he was the center of attention. Lies and just being an asshole were the tools of his trade. Chainsmoker, self-centered joker that didn't actually understand what a joke was. Hal,
I wish I hadn't given him the benefit of the doubt so many times.
well, of the main protagonists, I think I enjoy OP's description the most, but the rest of y'all tried, and that's what's important. As for HUTTBEARD, well, he sits in the corner of his prison cell, playing a sad tune on his harmonica, dreading the day that he's moved to Gen Pop with people that will eagerly, creatively repurpose his withered old frame. Yes, his frame. That's not the word I was expecting, but you know what word I was expecting, right? As for Elroy, oh my god. I am the very model of a metagaming piece of shit. I act on player knowledge and I power game on top of it. I hijack every session if the spotlight doesn't follow me, and everyone is mean because they don't understand my comedy. It may sound like I'm bragging, but that's just because I am the best. I only needed 50 hints and 30 books to pass the test, and when I got to fit in with the rest by and when I tried to fit in with the rest by giving Haloraz. Haloraz. Oh, I got it. A Scottish giant thumped his chest and said that he would kick my ass. Pirates of Penzance was the first play that I ever watched on stage. This touches me real deep. Chorus. Well, that's a like a Scotty never said that he would kick his ass. No, that's a like a Scotty never said that he would kick his ass. Oh, what a like a Scotty never said that he would kick his little ass. But I just want a saber and an X-wing and to use the force and take the place that I deserve as leader of the group, of course. And when it comes to making others want to pack their stuff and quit, I am the very model of a metagaming piece of shit. Oh my god! It might be right up there with Wet Ass Beard as like one of my favorite parodies. I wish it would go on forever. That is so good! And I nailed it in one take. I'm so proud. God damn! Or something. Yeah, that's roughly what he said. If it's not what he said with his words, it's definitely what he said with his actions. And now, friends, with a sub-story and a music parody all out of the way, oh my god, we're doubling up on the music parodies. That's pretty cool. We are now into the actual story. So, at the end of the last story, Elroy made a joke about how we should stop gently teasing Hal before he had himself committed to a psychiatric hospital again. Stalin once said, dark humor's like food. Not everyone gets it. Maybe it was Stalin. I don't know. But even he would have pumped the brakes on his Zavid Ameni Stalina 115 at that one. How do you know what kind of car Stalin drove, OP? I'm curious. Or he threatened to ship his driver off to a gulag if he didn't pump the brakes. In Soviet Russia, car breaks you! Oh, God. Yeah, that's a topic that I'm not going to touch on at the moment. Elroy realized the error of his words and promptly made an apology. or, panic scurried away before Scotty made him handwrite an apology with his own blood. That's what I would really like to see. As oft mentioned in previous installments, Scotty is the kindest and gentlest of giants under most circumstances, but casually insulting someone's mental health? That's the sort of thing that brings his blood to a boil and shoots bagpipe-laden gouts of steam from his ear. Bagpipe-laden? How's that work? Had Elroy not apologized, he likely would have ended up with summer teeth. Some are over here, some are over there, some are still in his mouth. I was gonna ask what summer teeth is. I'm glad I just read the next line. I gotta save that for later. HUTTBEARD sped us through the rest of that session, faster than a cannibalistic restaurateur trying to rush the health inspector in and out of the walk-in before the long pig is discovered, and the detective has to show up the next morning to ask about the impromptu addition to last night's specials, and if anyone has seen the health inspector. For those who aren't aware, long pig is what they call human meat. I don't think it's good to eat it. I heard somewhere that it makes you itchy or something like that. Yeah, I heard it. I totally don't know from experience. No, seriously, I don't. We discovered that Jula's ex and the other slaves hadn't been sold off, but she was being sold at an invite-only auction, and a moth would be there that we could interrogate to find the Rebel Alliance general's location. Our objective couldn't have been any clearer if it had a pair of strippers and glow-in-the-dark body paint shooting glow sticks at it with a t-shirt cannon. We needed to get to that auction. Are there gonna be glow-in-the-dark strippers, though? I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for a friend.
Giggity, 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 giggity.
The problem was that most of the invites had gone to people that had so much money, they could buy a new Star Cruiser with the same ease that one of the poors could buy a candy bar. The poors. Oh no. Our group could barely afford common sense, so how the hell were we expected to get in? Well, as luck would have it, the winners of the pod race and prize fight tournaments would be invited to the auction as honored guests. So, 2 chances right there. The rest of us would have to get creative with how we got in. The rest of us except for this guy, that is. You see, Ferris, my Gordon Ramsay-esque medic, was approached by a representative of the event's host shortly after he made it past the gate guards. The rest of the group wandered off as Ferris discovered that his reputation apparently preceded him, and his presence had been requested for consultation. Yeah, I'm liking where this is going already. HUTTBEARD does have a lot of weaknesses as a GM, but the pod race and prize fighting thing, that sounds pretty awesome. And there's not enough tickets for everybody to go, necessarily, unless they get creative. I like these sorts of dilemmas. Encourage some outside-the-box solutions. Of course, we know Elroy's his little pet boy, and he's probably going to get whatever ticket he tries for. But the rest of you are creative. You'll do fine. Hey, some 2-bit crime lord on the back edge of nowhere needs Ferris, the Ramsay-esque medic, to take a peek at his moisture vaporator and break the news that he picked up some little womp rats from a transition call girl. Why not? Maybe I could talk my way into that VIP auction, right? Yeah, totally. I'll be the guest of honor. I need to administer the space penicillin. That's what they use, right? Well, do you remember that time when the group neglected to report back in to Pizza the Hut after Hal's first character tried to show us his best impression of Benedict Arnold? Well, it turns out that the Hutts stow their grudges safely away in designer luggage. Sitting in Pizza's monogrammed clutch, nestled between a holdout blaster and a tear-stained letter ending with a cherry red Gungan lip print and the words,
We shall always be having Nashada, okay, day?
was a wish list. I love when I get to do the Jar Jar voice. Beautiful. On the top of that wish list was Jafari Sabson's ass. Care to place a wager on who was hosting this event? If you said Max Rebo, then you owe me 50 Tendy coins. Hey, he's making Tendy coins a real thing. I'm totally into it. You shouldn't feel too bad. 50 Tendy coins, you could get that for like 1/100 of a cent, I'm pretty sure. While Mr. Rebo did play a sick acoustic set at the opening ceremonies, he was doing so at the behest of the one, the only Pizza the Hut. So while the rest of the party was led on their merry way to make bets, influence gamblers, participate in events, and set up sabotages, I walked, without question, to the VIP lounge. Be careful, it's a trap! Elroy, who had been against the idea of pretending to be a slave in the first place, seemed to feel like it was unfair for Ferris to be given that sort of luxurious welcome while he walked around chained up behind a Wookiee. All right, you go too then. This is what you asked for. And thus, ever the team player, he promptly abandoned his role in the plan because his character somehow heard a private conversation that was being held a football field away. OP, dude, stop metagaming. There's no way you would have heard that conversation. Elroy, I heard it using the Force. OP, did you tell HUTTBEARD that you were doing that? Elroy, I mean, I always use the Force, and that's what my character does. Yeah, no shit. OP, but did you tell him that you were wanting to listen in on my conversation specifically? At the start of the session, the group had rolled for destiny points and had ended up with a whopping 3. Until Elroy to HUTTBEARD, can I use a destiny point to say I was using the Force to keep tabs on all my friends? Yeah, friends. I think we're using that word very loosely. I refer you now to the work of Andy Serkis in his role as Gollum.
You don't have any friends. Nobody likes you. Not listening.
Side note, yeah, destiny points have multiple uses. I explained how they could be used to modify skill checks, but there's really no limit as to how you can spend them. It's essentially up to the GM's discretion. Say your group has to do a mission on a planet where the air is toxic. Looking at you, Quesh. Looking at you. What the hell kind of planet is this? Somebody blow that up. Where's the Death Star? Oh, they blew both of them up. But no one has environmental protection suits, say, on their character sheets. In this case, the party can ask to flip a destiny point to say that someone conveniently remembered to pack some. Essentially, you can use them to retcon the game by selling a piece of your soul to the devil. Because, yeah, the GM is, in turn, going to use those same destiny points to screw you over in some way. I think I said in the last episode that that's a really interesting mechanic. Weirdos and Waifus has the same mechanic. It's just called Euphoria points. Anyways, the group groaned in unison as we questioned why he would use one of our precious few destiny points for this. Elroy, OP said I couldn't have heard his conversation without metagaming, so I had to spend the points so it wouldn't be metagaming. Peacekeeper, no, dude, you're just giving HUTTBEARD points to use against us for no reason. Mac, there's a lot of stuff we're supposed to be rolling on tonight. Why are you wasting a point like that? Elroy, because if I don't, I can't listen in on this conversation. Elroy, Even if you could hear the conversation, you're supposed to be role-playing as a slave. Slaves don't get to walk around the party doing whatever they want. You've just ruined the entire plan.
God, I hate him.
Mac, you don't need to listen in on the conversation. Whoa! Elroy,
Yes, I do. That's what my character would do.
he said it.
There it is.
HUTTBEARD got everyone's attention and actually herded us in a direction. Elroy's direction, of course. All aboard the money train! Choo-choo! Which sounds fine, except for the fact that HUTTBEARD is the only one getting paid in this scenario. So you're basically just all playing along in order to get Elroy to keep lining HUTTBEARD's pockets. It's ridiculous. I do love the money train. I gotta admit that to myself and everyone, but I also love the dignity train. And the dignity train will take you a lot farther. But HUTTBEARD says,
Hey, it's done. We're moving on now.
and then to Elroy,
You've been listening this whole time.
Elroy,
All right. Then I'm gonna slip out of these chains and follow Ferris to the VIP lounge.
can somebody tase him or something? I'm pretty sure that would be within role-playing, right? Set phasers to stun? Oh no, that's Star Trek. I don't know what I'm talking about. OP. What? Why? You're supposed to be with the rest of Jula's slaves, Elroy.
Whatever, man. I can't just let you go to that meeting alone. What if it's a trap?
Yeah, that's a good idea, Admiral Akbar. Mac, then he'll deal with it, or let us know. We had a plan, Elroy. You're supposed to sabotage pod races, so Hal and Peacekeeper stand a better chance of winning. Whoa! Just stick with the plan, man. Elroy,
I can't. I have to follow him. It's what my character would do.
oh God, he said it twice already. I know there's gonna be a third one, and that universe-ending phrase is always just so painful to go through. We always end up right back in the same spot, but it hurts me physically every single time. Please don't do it. I know he's gonna do it, but please don't do it. So, why was this Elroy's plan of action? Because I'm assuming he was just afraid that he would be missing out on something good. It's like when you have a bunch of friends over for game night and your 3-year-old keeps inventing new excuses for why she has to get out of bed and come back to the congregation. I need a drink. I heard a noise. I'm having an existential crisis and need validation from my support network to reassure myself that it's all gonna be okay. Oh, you're also a really good psychologist. OP is just a triple threat. I love Irish Pirate, god damn it. Or, you know, the good old classic, I need night-night gummies. Yeah, goddamn, man, I could use some night-night gummies myself. I've been up for too long recording this thing. But that's why I'm so proud of myself for getting through Modern Major General in one shot. Side note 2, Electric Boogaloo. 1, melatonin gummies don't always come in child-proof containers, as it turns out. 2, according to Professor Google, you cannot overdose on melatonin. 3, when a 4-year-old eats a handful of them when you have the audacity to turn your back for 0.6 seconds, she goes into an 18-hour coma. 4, or, you know, so I've been told. Please don't call Child Protective Services. 18-hour coma whenever you need it does sound pretty convenient. You just be like, I'm leaving these gummies on the table. I hope nobody takes them. She just gobbles them all up and you're like, hey, you've activated my trap card. Like, it sounds heinous if you don't have kids, but if you do have kids, I totally get it. My mom used to slip me NyQuil at least a couple times a week when she really needed us to just go to bed right now. She's like, here you go. You like grape flavor, right? Boop. Good night. So, Elroy did manage to slip out of the chains, but when he tried to follow me up the stairs, he failed. Hard. Didn't he just use the Force? These aren't the droids you're looking for, or something like that. Narratively, it played out as the guards played along for a bit, letting him think that they couldn't see him, and then they beat the absolute piss out of him in a surprise round. HUTTBEARD does have a sense of humor. As much of a degenerate, horrible person as he is, there are some aspects, very few aspects, but a few aspects that I do like about his game. Honestly, the whole scene was heartbreaking, really. And so, Elroyless, OP entered the VIP lounge, thinking that there would be a temperature check, a game of turn your head and cough, and a hastily scrawled prescription for a strong anti-parasitic. The grateful host would surely repay the humble Chissman's kindness with some well-deserved pampering. A massage or two, of course. Perhaps a chilled bottle of Corellian Moscato. High hopes. He's got high hopes. How did you not know who was holding this event? It seems like a really big thing to just gloss over. And if you saw Pizza the Hut's name, wouldn't you be like, oh, that's the guy we screwed over. We can't go to that. But I'm sure the GM concealed that fact on purpose. Anyways, as it turned out, the only medical procedure that was on the docket was for Ferris. Unless he could square accounts with Pizza the Hut, he was scheduled to undergo surgery at the cold, metallic hands of Dr. Roger, MD. He was not a surgery droid, mind. He was a B1 series battle droid with a vibro knife and a stethoscope. He only uses the stethoscope to make sure that people are dead, you see. What type of surgery was I to receive from this makeshift medic? An anesthetic-free ureteroscopy. I'll give you a minute to Google that. I'm never going to Google that. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I know it probably means it's going to chop your dick off. So don't Google that. Don't fall for it. Be careful, it's a trap. How many times can we shove that into this episode? Okay, wifey's laying over there. She Googled it. She says it's a procedure for kidney stones, which doesn't sound very pleasant, anesthesia-free, but I guess it's leagues better than, you know, actually getting your dong chopped off, so maybe it's not going to be so bad, especially if Ferris has kidney stones. Maybe sign up for that. Anyways, welcome back. Are you happy with your newfound knowledge? I am actually. I will never use this word, but it does make me sound smart when I tell people that I actually Googled stuff, which I didn't. My wife Googled it. Don't hate me. Despise me all you want. But when that question is the winning question on Jeopardy, I expect 100 tendy coins for my contribution. Damn, Irish Pirate over here just raking in the tendy coins. He's gonna be the majority shareholder pretty soon. I don't know if that's even how tendy coins work. I just really fear a hostile takeover of tendy coin, seeing as most of my channel's monetary value is built on tendy coins and cryptocurrency. So, Ferris had two options. One, spend the rest of his life quoting Don Vito Corleone every time he wanted to take a piss. Look how they massacred my boy. Or two, make a deal. And the deal was rather simple. Pizza had a slave that he was entering in the melee tournament. My job was to keep him alive between fights. I would even get paid if the slave won, so I was encouraged to enhance his chances of winning. Yeah, I got some steroids right here, don't even sweat it. So I became BFFs with a dim-witted Gamorrean bruiser whose name I can't remember, so we'll just call him Piggly. Things went pretty smoothly. Piggly was a good fighter and usually won before he got hurt too bad. And Ferris was, as Chainsmoker dubbed him, Space Jesus, after all. I kept Piggly standing and gave him the Lance Armstrong treatment in between rounds, a booster stim to temporarily raise his brawn to give him that unfair advantage. Sportsmanship be damned. I didn't want my character to spend the rest of his years carrying a funnel to the urinal. Scotty playing a Wookiee named Merwick, and Chainsmoker playing a Nikto named Roblox also put their characters in the tournament. To the surprise of exactly no one, the two of them moved up the brackets with ease. Chainsmoker eventually went up against Piggly. I topped the green guy's health off before the fight, but the booster shot I gave him increased his presence, charisma, more or less. I had to keep up the ruse that I was helping Piggly cheat, but I didn't want to actually give Piggly a better chance at killing my friend. Didn't really matter, though. I could have given him a horse tranquilizer and it wouldn't have made a difference. Chainsmoker's dice had taken out a second mortgage and bet against their owner. The dice threw the fight and went to Vegas without him. We still see them posting on social media, enjoying their ill-gotten gains. Oh, karma's gonna catch up with him sooner or later, probably. Scotty fought on until he made it to the grand finale. It was Piggly versus Merwick. Greenskin Balboa versus Furry Creed in a no-holds-barred blood sport. Scotty's dice had stayed true and loyal, each issuing a Gaelic war cry as it danced across the table. He was dual-wielding vibroblades, and on one particularly lucky roll, scored a critical hit with each one. Oh snap. This is high stakes. Can't you just have an aside and be like, bro, I need you to throw the fight or I'm gonna lose my dick? We'll find another way to get you into the party. Please do not win. But I think he is gonna win. With Edge of the Empire, critical hits are rolled on a percentile dice. Certain things, talents, weapon properties, pre-existing critical injuries add to the roll. The scale goes from 1 to 151, like Pokemon. I stubbed my toe to instant death. Scotty's build and weapons added 50 to his critical hit rolls. One of the critical injuries was maiming, permanent loss of a limb. The other was a particularly nasty injury that allows the attacker to roll another attack immediately. Want to take a wild guess what happened? He got a third critical hit. Seeing as Piggly already had 2 critical injuries, this meant that Scotty was adding 70 to this roll. Oh, that poor idiot. He didn't know what he was doing going up against the Wookiee. Scotty picked up his percentile dice and gave me the kind of pitying look that you give a dog or a cat when you're about to take him to the vet to get neutered. I don't remember the number exactly, but I knew it was higher than an 81. I know this because 151 plus is instant death. Scotty shook his head and gave me the sort of look that you give someone when they come home and say, "Today was awful. I just want to reheat that beef chili and let the spicy goodness burn my cares away." But you don't even have time to mask the cayenne on your breath before saying, yeah, about that. It was delicious on the plus side. Scotty, "Oh, damn. I'm sorry, brother." All was not lost yet, though. With my character's wedding tackle on the chopping block, I had no choice but to break out the ace up my sleeve. Destiny point to fight against your own party member. That's probably not a good idea. Do you have a skill or something you could use, OP? Ferris had an ability called "It's Not That Bad." Is that flavored or is that like in the book? That's hilarious. Once per session, I could roll a medicine check to keep a character from taking a critical injury. Narratively, it means that everyone except the medic assumes the worst, and the medic is the one to confirm, as the name of the ability implies, that, oh, it's not that bad. I assembled my dice pool to attempt the check, but I needed to check with the group first. OP, do you guys mind if I use a destiny point? Oh my god, he is gonna do it! What a mad lad! Look at him go! Everyone -1. Go for it, dude. Including Scotty, Elroy was the -1. I guess I shouldn't be too surprised about that. Elroy,
we only have 2 left. I don't know if it's worth a destiny point. It's not like they said they're gonna kill you. You're a good doctor. You could fix whatever they do to you.
Yeah, how about no? His mouth moved, but the only thing I heard was the sound that grown-ups make in the Peanuts cartoons. Womp, 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 womp. I flipped the destiny point and succeeded in my check. Barely. Piggly wasn't headless. He was only nearly headless. Yeah, not that bad, but it's still pretty freaking bad, isn't it? The spinal cord is the only thing holding you together. He took enough damage to go unconscious, but make sure he wins was a secondary objective. Piggly would go on to become the head coach of a huttball team. He had a good head on his shoulders. I don't know. 1 or 2 more puns about heads. I mean, I could go for like, he knows how to get ahead in life, but that's pretty weak. I think I'll go with Piggly sacrificed his big head to save your little head, which is less of a joke and more of a statement of fact. But that's what we're going with. All right, OP. Well done, I guess. But what about the others? What were they doing at this time? Well, Scotty was reveling in his victory. Hal had made a hefty sum betting on Scotty and loudly proclaimed that Merwick had earned his freedom. So now a free Wookiee, Merwick was given the auction invitation. What better way to celebrate that newfound freedom than to go bid on some slaves, right? Hopefully, buy them and set them free. That would be the humanitarian thing to do. But really, they only have eyes for like 1 of the slaves, so they're probably just gonna buy that one and come on home. But Hal made a lot of money. Shouldn't he buy more? Nah, we're good. I gotta save this for other things and stuff. Mac's character Nala was using her natural charms to nudge gamblers in the right direction, betting against the team to pump the odds up. She wandered around as a service slave with a tray of drinks, but she was dispensing more than just refreshment. A little, he doesn't look so tough here, and a bit of, that poor thing won't last 5 seconds there, and the end result was a hefty sum of prize money and some very angry gamblers. Always bet on the Wookiee. As for Hal and Peacekeeper, their characters were participating in the pod race. Hal was excited because his character had good agility, and he had invested points in piloting speeders and land vehicles, so he was confident. He had even spent time reading the vehicle section of the rulebook to know what he could do with any advantages he rolled and what kind of maneuvers he could use. And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe!
And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe!
So, you can imagine how Hal felt when the GM broke out a board game about F1 racing, Formula D, and he said that we would be using that to simulate the race. He wasn't saying, we'll just use the pieces, but stick to Edge of the Empire rules. He was saying, we're just going to play Formula D now, and we'll say it's the pod race. Bro, what made you think that this was a good idea? They have a section for racing and vehicles. Why are you gonna pull a whole nother game? Oh, man. I don't get it. Maybe he's trying to upsell this game. He'll be like, wasn't Formula D fun, guys? Won't you take a copy home for yourself? Because I need to increase the revenue of this store. Hal had prepared for a calculus test. only to find out that he was now being quizzed on 17th century Norwegian literature. He had never played Formula D in his life. I've never even heard of it before. Everyone but him and Peacekeeper was assigned an NPC racer to play. Some of us were more familiar with Formula D than others. We had an unspoken covenant, though. We didn't like the hoodwink that HUTTBEARD had pulled on Hal, and we were in the mood to throw the race and let either him or Peacekeeper win. And it might have worked too, if Hal hadn't rolled so damn high. Yeah, the universe knows what it's doing. Just trusting karma to bring justice around. In Formula D, the higher gear you're in, the higher number range of dice you roll. You can shift up or down one gear each turn. You can skip a gear shifting down if you're willing to put strain on your car, or pod racer, I guess, but you can only skip one. You can drop from 6th to 4th, but not 6th to 3rd, like that. On each Formula D racetrack, there are corners that are marked off and tagged with a number. This number is how many times you're required to stop within that marked off section to avoid overshooting the turn and crashing. That's all there is to it? Really? Sounds like the lamest board game ever. It's like Candyland, except we put race cars in it. Cool, great. I'm totally excited. Hal started his turn in 5th gear with a potential range of 11 to 20 on his dice. The corner he needed to hit was about 21 to 24 squares away. I don't remember exactly. So if he stayed in 5th, he definitely wouldn't hit that corner, but he might end up so close that he would have no choice but to overshoot it. So the smart play would be to shift down to 4th gear, range of 7 to 12, and go slow into the corner and up speed on the way out. Okay, maybe it's more tactics than Candyland. I sold it a little short, I'll admit that much. But it's still not my cup of tea. The other option was to shift to 6th gear, range 21 to 30, and hope to roll low enough to not overshoot the turn. Well, Hal shifted into 6th gear, Hal rolled a 30, and Hal crashed. Oops, you live and learn, I suppose. HUTTBEARD rolled for a critical hit, and added 10 to the roll for every square by which Hal had overshot that corner. The result he rolled was somewhere between 141 and 150. Oh yeah, he did. His shoes came off, he did. Per the rule book, this critical injury is the end is nigh. The target will die after the last initiative slot during the next round. See, Ferris, aren't you now upset that you used your it's not that bad skill on an NPC fighter? I understand you're trying to save your wedding tackle, but now Hal's gonna have to roll up another new character. Now, while all this has been going on, Elroy has been passing notes to HUTTBEARD, like a high school girl, and occasionally he was rolling dice. We were not privy to what he was doing, you see. And you know what? Good for him on that. I can't even be mad, actually. That is the right way to pull some sneaky shit on your party. None of this out of character, in character, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, from the days of yesteryear. I mean, it is the right way to do sneaky things, but why you gotta do sneaky things on your own party? Unless it's for a totally epic joke, right? Was that part 3? God damn, that was grindingly slow. Please let us never experience that again. Anyways, back to Hal's crash. HUTTBEARD allowed me to roll for initiative to put myself on the clock, but there was a problem. Ferris was nowhere near the racetrack. He was watching from a comfortable booth, enjoying the fact that he was still in one piece. Until, OP, guys, are you okay with me using the last destiny point to say that I was near the racetrack? Elroy?
What? Why would Ferris be near the racetrack?
Exactly, that's why he wasn't, but one of our dudes is about to die, so yes, destiny point. OP, I don't know. We can say I was strongly encouraged to work with the racetrack medics to make up for the fact that Piggly lost his fights. Elroy,
That doesn't sound like what your character would do.
Oh, he almost said it. Not quite. That one doesn't count. Thank God. OP. I didn't say it was his idea. I'm pitching that idea to HUTTBEARD to see if he'll accept it and put my character close enough to stand a chance at possibly making a difference. Elroy.
But I was...
To HUTTBEARD.
Would I know where he is if he does that?
HUTTBEARD.
Yes, we're retconning it to say that he was down at the track, so, you would have sensed him there.
I was pleased as punch to know that Elroy's character was stalking mine. I didn't think there was anything ominous about that at all. What could possibly go wrong? I didn't say anything, though. My character didn't know anything about it, and honestly, what good would have come from questioning it? I didn't need another hour of,
oh, come on, it'll be funny, I promise.
Yeah, please and thank you. I don't think I could stand another story of that. I got the message loud and clear. And I was now nearing my limit on,
it's what my character would do
for the century. Does it count if OP said it? No, I don't think it does. OP's only said it once, and that was like not even in character. So alright. I had other things to focus on, like the fact that Hal's character was going to die in one turn if I didn't do something. HUTTBEARD let me spend the destiny point, and we rewrote history to say that Ferris was getting a mouthful of dust rather than a mouthful of wine. The sparkles in his eyes were from engine flares and solar reflections rather than strobe lights and body glitter. Aw, it was fun while it lasted. The end is nigh said that Hal would die at the end of the last initiative spot on the next turn. That technically meant that I had 2 turns to get this done. I spent my entire first turn just getting Ferris to the crash site and pulling Jula out of the wreckage. Then it was Elroy's turn. Across the track, there was a brief flash of orange as a tiny lightsaber blade cut through a ventilation shaft, and a Jawa dropped unobtrusively onto the side of the racetrack behind a wooden cart full of fruit, a stack of half-smashed crates, and a trash fire with a hobo in fingerless gloves. You know, all the classic street-side decorations you'd expect to find in this sort of environment. He was a little battered, but most of the damage that had been dealt to him was non-lethal, so once he woke up, he was, mostly fine. Mostly. He was missing roughly 1/4 of his total hit points. Apparently cutting through the vent and dropping down to the ground were just free actions, because he said he ran across the track to my character's side. Rather than cutting to Jula's next round of bleeding out and getting to the senior prom and her life flashing before her eyes montage, HUTTBEARD simply asked,
okay, you're next to Ferris. What are you going to do now?
Elroy.
Ferris, I'm injured, and I need you to heal me. It's important.
OP, a la Gordon Ramsay. Are you mental? Do you not see what happened to Jula? Elroy.
It'll only take a second.
OP. Piss off, you little wanker. I'll get to you when I get to you. Elroy.
Dude, come on. You could just use your incidental to pop me with a stim pack.
OP. It's not my turn. Elroy.
Well, on your next turn, then.
OP. I might need that incidental to pop Jula with a stim pack. Yeah, the character who is like actively dying right now. God, he really thinks he's the main character, just like more than anybody else I've ever seen. Do you not understand? One of you will have to roll a new character. The other one can survive for multiple rounds with only 25% of your HP missing. Hal, sensing yet another Hal-centric argument around the corner. Honestly, it's... OP, you're getting healed. Come to peace with that. Elroy,
Fine then.
to HUTTBEARD.
I want to take one of Ferris's stim packs while he's busy with Jula.
Yep, that happened. Dude, what a scumbag. Are we sure this guy is legitimately part of the party? If Jula dies, is that grounds to get him kicked out completely? Probably not, because he's HUTTBEARD's golden boy. Scotty,
What the Kentucky Fried Fuck, dude? Can't you just wait a turn?
Elroy, still afraid of Scotty.
Well, because my character wouldn't do that.
God damn it. Frustrated yet? Well, hang in there because we are not done yet. Mac, can we see this happening? Like, do they have cameras on the crash where we can see him taking the stim pack? Elroy,
I want to do a stealth check.
does HUTTBEARD allow him to do this retroactive stealth check? I mean, what does a man with two dicks say when a tailor asks, do you dress to the left or to the right? Yes. Well, that is unfortunate, isn't it? Okay, well, which of your dicks do you prefer be used as a pincushion while I size your pants properly? And of course, Elroy succeeds his stealth check, but with this game's dice system, it's rarely cut and dry. He succeeded, but he also rolled a despair. So he got the stim pack, but something went catastrophically wrong in the process. What, he dropped the stim pack and it injected itself into Hal's neck? Oh, easy peasy. When someone rolls a despair in combat check, the GM can say that the power cell in their weapon died and they need to reload it. But what can go wrong when you're stealing a pseudo sci-fi healing potion from the space cleric? You can steal his last one. Oh my god, dude! Hal is gonna have to roll a new character. Just because of this guy, I don't know, not having a full health bar? Like, God, I hate him so much. So yes, indeedly doodly campers, Peasant effectively stole Ferris's very last stim pack. The difficulty to keep Hal alive was rank 4 out of 5 with a properly stocked medkit. Without it, yeah, definite 5 out of 5. Scotty,
Jesus, dude! See what happened because you couldn't wait?
Peacekeeper, oh my god, why? Seriously, dude, why would you do that? Mac, Jula's probably gonna die now because of that. Whoa. Elroy,
Guys, quit yelling at me. I just did what my character would have done.
oh, there it is. Third time. See you on the next go around. And we're back.
Besides, he's Space Jesus. Hell'll be fine.
Yeah, we're all gonna be just fine. It all comes back around eventually. He did actual air quotes and an oh so condescending tone when calling me by Chainsmoker's nickname. It's almost like it bothered him that the party respected my character in a way that he could never manage to emulate. I don't think he's respected in any form or fashion. It's just annoying. Chainsmoker.
Yeah, but like, he's never had to roll against a difficulty of 4 or 5 before.
Hal, it's okay. I had an idea for a backup character that... OP, you're not dead until I say you're dead. Now, shut up and stop dying. Hal gave a very forced chuckle. Mommy and Daddy were fighting again, and he just wanted to go back to his room and play with his Ninja Turtles and blow bubbles in his Nestle Quick. It does sound like the life, though. Elroy, having successfully robbed me, healed himself and ended his turn. My god, he used the stim pack. He knew it was the last one and he used it? Ugh. He really just does not give a single fuck. Yeah, he could have handed the stim pack back after realizing it was my last one. could have. Hal's turn came and went with as much pomp and circumstance as the milk farts of a lactose-intolerant glutton an hour into an all-you-can-eat ice cream social. Wet and farty. I looked at the destiny point pool and had a thought. If I could get the difficulty dropped back down to a 4, I'd feel a lot more comfortable. Even if HUTTBEARD upgraded one of the difficulty dice, I would still only be rolling against 4 total. The problem was getting back that stim pack. OP to HUTTBEARD, can you upgrade the difficulty? Stunned silence befell the group. I'm not gonna lie, I pitched the idea without consulting anyone, kinda just to see the looks on their faces. Well, that, and to get the difficulty lowered in the end. I do know it's kinda confusing. How can you upgrade the difficulty of a check while still making it somehow less difficult? Because standard difficulty dice are purple D8s with no chance of despair. Upgraded difficulty dice are red D12s with one face being a despair. Fewer dice means better odds of success, even if the fewer dice option means success might come at a steeper cost. HUTTBEARD,
If I upgrade the difficulty, you know you can't just flip it back to upgrade your check, right? Only 1 destiny point per skill check.
OP, I want to spend it to say that I found a stim pack in the bottom of my belt pouch or backpack. Like that last lonely French fry that got separated from the herd in the McDonald's drive-thru, only to be discovered in your hour of greatest need, when your stomach is still a little bit grumbly and you do a blind sweep through the bottom of the bag. I guess I'm not the only one. Man, that clown has got me. I'm gonna go to McDonald's after this. HUTTBEARD did allow it, though. The difficulty was upgraded, but armed with a stim pack, I wasn't going to have to face an increased difficulty. I'm still a little confused, but all right, whatever you say. I rolled a lot of dice. If you put all of those dice in a sock, you could whip it over your head and bring them down on someone else's head hard enough to send them into tomorrow morning with an achy cranium and an irrational fear of the clackety sound of plastic on plastic. I did succeed, barely. But Elroy wasn't the only one to roll a despair that night. Ferris was able to save Jula, at least most of her. She lost one of her arms and part of one of her legs. Oh, whatever, cyborg time. That's cool. Give me an arm that can crush a brick into powder. I'm down. Ferris, still oblivious to the fact that Pissant had stolen from him, finished patching Jula up and turned to make good on his promise to heal the little bastard when it was his turn. Imagine his surprise when he turned around and saw that his diminutive companion was gone, and there was nothing left where he was standing but an empty stim pack casing. Did he disappear? Or was he never there to begin with? No, he had definitely been there. Now that he was fully healed, he was on stage 2 of his secret scheme. So, what about Peacekeeper? Well, he was no stranger to Formula D, so he was able to channel the spirit of Ricky Bobby. I want to go fast.
I want to go fast.
The winner's purse was nothing to sneeze at either. I wanted to say it had around 15,000 credits. That was, of course, before fees and taxes. The man that had rented the pod to Peacekeeper kept tacking costs, deductions, and expenses on long after the race was over. In the end, the invoice had more riders than Rohan, and Peacekeeper only got to keep about 10% of what he had actually won. Ugh, that's smarts. Nothing that a good blaster bolt to the face can't handle. We were gonna argue with the rental shark when HUTTBEARD got passed another note. He read it, wrote something back, and handed it to Elroy. Elroy shook his head. HUTTBEARD,
As you're starting to yell at him, you hear someone in the distance yelling even louder. Help! Help! Murder!
A middle-aged serving slave screamed and pushed her way into the crowded market. You know, just the sort of place that you would want to scream about things that could cause people to panic. Well, panic they did. HUTTBEARD described it as looking like someone had poked a fire ant hill. People were scurrying this way and that way, merchants packed up, food vendors abandoned their grill, everyone was pushing and shoving their way towards the exits. Well, mostly everyone. Mac to Chainsmoker, deal with him! Before I could ask what was happening, Chainsmoker rolled to attack the rental shark with a concealed vibro knife. Oh yeah! The attack hit. The charlatan was knocked right into unconsciousness. I say you leave him 10%, right? That's just desserts for renting the pod racer. But then we gotta take the karma tax out of it. Yeah, I guess he's left with nothing. Ferris, feeling that the message had been sent loud and clear, bent down and patched him back up, did a little field surgery to top his health off, and even sutured his initials into the stitchwork. Now that's quality. Yes, indeed, this man would wake up fresh and renewed and have a new outlook on life. Gone were his days of trying to cheat people out of their hard-earned money. He had been given a new lease on life, a new chance to, Mac, Savo. Peacekeeper unslung his rifle and autographed the man's forehead. Well, I guess you can't win them all, Mac says to all of us. And now we get paid. Whoa! At Mac's instruction, Merwick and Roblox cleaned out the cash boxes. It wasn't until they were making their way back to the ship that they saw what had triggered the panic. The two guards that had assaulted Elroy earlier were sprawled out, necks bent at unnatural angles. They had blood under their fingernails and long gashes across their throat where they had accidentally mauled themselves in an effort to fight off the invisible hands that eventually did succeed in choking them and snapping their necks. Jesus, dude. I'm all for robbing a shady merchant, but killing two guards that were basically just doing their job because they hurt your fifis? Nah. You know that ain't right. And you know it's Elroy that did it, too. Oh, such a little scumbag. They were not the only victims, though. An astromech droid, presumably the only witness, had somehow found itself on the business end of a small lightsaber. Elroy had wanted revenge. Forget the fact that we hadn't even gone to the auction yet. Forget the fact that those guards weren't important enough plot-wise to even merit having names. Elroy was determined to settle a score, and settle it he did. Those poor NPCs, they probably had an NPC wife waiting for them at home, and NPC children that have to grow up without a father. Look what you've done! It's a little overdramatic. But in doing so, Elroy was ladling a thick sludge from a cast iron cauldron into a soup bowl with his name on it. What was this foul substance? Why, naught but a batch of his own medicine. Trademark, copyright. And yes, indeed, he was about to get a taste of it next time. Oh, we gotta wait for justice? All right, sometimes justice is worth waiting for. The best revenge is served cold or something like that, which doesn't make sense because we're talking about a soup. But whatever, you know what I'm saying? How about borscht? That's a cold soup. And now we get into another parody song. This one I do not know. It is Miley Cyrus' Wrecking Ball. We fought, we raced, we served as slaves, but one got captured alone. We had a plan to find the man who'd say where we need to go. Scotty won his fight, I still dodged a knife, Elroy somehow escaped. Hal's pod went too fast, we all watched him crash, I was too far away. He went up in a fireball, no healing checked his heart before. Elroy didn't want to have to stall, but when my back was turned, he robbed me. Yeah, he robbed me. All right, good job, Miley. That's beautiful. Probably, not my best work, but I do like the parody in itself. But really, I think the very model of a metagaming piece of shit. We could have just sung that twice, and I would have been happy with it. Anyways, I'll try to get the next part written faster. Sorry you didn't have any Star Wars shenanigans when you wanted it, ReddX. Sad face. All right, bye. Now you good, fam. 100% take your time with these stories. Like I said, Stealthbeard, we've had to wait months and months for another entry. Camelot Beard, it seems to be on a standstill as well. People can take their time. I know they got real lives to deal with, and I mean, that's the case for me as well. That's why the episode's gone up a little bit late today, but it is what it is. It's extra beefy just for you guys, and I hope that you did quite enjoy it. Elroy, oh, he's such a little stinker, dude. While we haven't seen him be super deplorable as a human being, aside from his lack of instinct regarding social interactions, he just seems like such a pain in the ass to play any sort of game with. He doesn't understand cooperative games. Like Hal didn't, but Hal learned. Elroy didn't, and he just doesn't care. He expects everyone to just go along with it because he spends a lot of money in HUTTBEARD's shop, which probably isn't even his money. His mommy and daddy is just funding his Warhammer addiction, or what have you. There's a lot we could theorize about. And maybe you'd like to do so with Irish Pirate, considering that he's got that psychology degree, whatever you call it. Which one is it? Do you write prescription drugs, Irish Pirate? Because I need a favor. Never mind. I've lost it already. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, I hope that you will like, comment, and or subscribe. Maybe share the video around. That would be pretty cool. We got all kinds of links in the description. Playlist, plugs, podcast, you know what it is. Twitter, Discord, Facebook, them's my social medias. We've also got Patreon and my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons. Great job. I'll send out patron emails quite shortly. It's the beginning of the month. I just want to give everybody a chance to get in, Your patience is appreciated. And of course, I would like to thank all of my patrons very much. So, thank you.
Darth Thomas the Degenerate.
Robert Allen Waits, Camille Sarah, Logan Wolf, Conrad Ingy, Anna Leonard. Hey, Mr. ReddX, sir, Landlord Jerry just called. He says something about counterfeit doubloons. Can you let Dr. Ramtide know? Ramtide might be the one counterfeiting, honestly. Captain Clown Jerry, Hong Kong. Aaron W. has become Aaron Jerry.
Our numbers rise again.
Alexis Smith, aka Twisted Child, Sarah Wanawash, Cinnamon Susie, For Old Lang Syne, Irary is back to this since it's just more fun.
Jari the Pirate.
Silent Revolver, the OG Jerry, Jerish Kitsune, Satori, 211 Jerry, Fellowship of the Jerrys, a Jury, a Jubilantly Juggling Jerry's, a Justy Jargonia Jerry, I think I got through that, Alunia Demonista, Althea Blue, Anunnaki, Assassin Pug Jerry, Bang Bang, Aurora Wildheart, the Moon Baron, Grizzly, Baby Jerry, Gaga, Baby Joy, Bearded Jerry, watch out for that guy, Beards. That sucks. But much like sharks, we don't move backwards. Bitch Gremlin, Blade the Hero, Blip Bloop Jerry, Catholic Jerry, formerly Atheist Jerry, but the Inquisition showed me the light. Oh, blessed be, especially after this story. Jesus Christ. Commander J Tank, Confederate Jew, Dennis Dayton, Dinosaur Nightlight, Disposable Waifu, Dr. Lark, Submergent Jewel, Frozen Over Studios, Fire Drake, Gypsy, Hadrian BR. I can't help falling in love with Jerry. I'm Slim Jerry, yes, I'm the real Jerry. All you other Slim Jerrys are just imitating Irish pirates. Top of the barn into ya. Thought we were gonna get like a song medley going. Itchy Nuts, I just scratch him, bro. A pimp named J. Chris, J.M. Coon, Jennifer Schaefer, Jerry Blacktail, Jerry Nice, Jerry Evil, Jerry the Outlaw Mother Trucker, honk, honk. Jerry was a race car driver, and I'm at the light with him now for round 3 because I live my life a quarter mile at a time. I want to go fast. John Hero, John Jerry, Jingle Irishman. Hey, that's my name too. Simbufa, because if you're boofing is free, KJW, Kajow, Crewhee, Miss Monday, Lord Jerryo, leader of the Thunder Jerrys. Like and subscribe. Lady Dix, Melgar the Destroyer, Mental Effector. Now 10 out of 10 dentists agree he is more mental than Arthur Henry, as well as Jerry and Tom and ReddX. Totally facts, totally science, but it's totally not. Mr. Carrot 797, Natari, Needless King 89, Nightmare Jerry, on a quest to shave the stash of Jerry Aldo Rivera with Landlord Jerry, and 3-time Waffle Stop World Champion is Mr. J. Poor Jerry Aldo Rivera doesn't even know what's coming for him. Origami Steve hit Jerry with a bag of marbles after catching him cheating with Tom. That's right. Divorce, I say. Phantom of the Pines, Jerrykins and Jerry Beth, Ramtide Lacrimates, Rose Jerry Miller, TSM Kirby, Sarita the Lolita, Saucy Octopus, Silo Imp, Staples, aka Jerry Yeet, Stephanie Goodner, Synaptic Broomstick, Brilliant Tamago, Tapioca Boogaloo, Tato Ferret, Teddy the Police, 10-Ton Monster, that Italian Greyhound, Dino, whatever, the Littlest Who, the Token Trans Queen Jerry. I did not hit her. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Jerry. I am slain. The one true Fusky. Tom, but it's the Jerry on the inside that counts. Preach. Try to find me another marble to get back to the real world. Can't help you, mate. I'm Busy Bee. V3 Prime. Viking Jerry. We give up if you see Marble Jerry. Just give him a marble or something. They'll probably leave your livestock alone. Probably. WikiTag. Wilmags. Colorad Moody. Kira. Not another Jerry. But are you, though? You're a wizard, Jerry. Redwood. Naga Viper. Side Jerry the Cyborg. Saints Blessing. One Leg Jerry buys pizza for the Jerry Army. Hey! What about for ReddX? I like pizza too. A normal Jerry. We got all the marbles out of the machine, and now we can finally produce some Jerry Berries. Not a sponsor. Hunter of Jerry's, the Power of all things Stacy, and it's Tom. Admiral T-Tank, Emmer Alder, another stupid hipster. Atomic Jerry Zella, AZ Babsy Bartender Keelia, Blue Dubs, Broken Spine Horseradish. But look, I made you some content. Date, you're my favorite. Open wide. The original different Jerry. There's Cake Jerry, California Jerry Girl, Chevron 7 Locked, Corporal Admiral Lieutenant Furry Worry Princess, Jerry. I fucked that up. Grip titties. Dayton does, but he needs our help. Come on, Jerry, buddy. Clap your hands if you believe. Oh, it's so good. Defon Jerry, creator of colorful click clacks. DM Beard, roll first in action. Dopamine Dangerous, Electrical Fennec, Ghost of Alpha, Heeknot, Holy Berry Jerry, sponsor of Jerry Berries. Hydra Jerry Solomon, Irradiated Jam. Sorry, Babushka, it's just business. Janitor Jerry, who found the crate of cringe and marbles out by the dumpster. Jeffrey, Geralt of Rivia, Jerry and Tom versus Happy New Year's Webby Apocalypse. Jerry, the Sussy Baka. Jerry's mom has got it going on. Jerry Aldo Rivera, keep your mustache safe. Jerry Bean, yum. Jerry Roxas, yay. Jerry's SDI downshifted and sped away with a burst of flames. That's freaking metal, bro. Jerry role-playing game. Judge Jerry and Executioner. Kid Marvelous. King Tom, Kitsykin, Life of Guardian, Little Ann Woods, Lucia Lovecraft, Machia, CD. Maybe next time Milk-Fed Gimp. Miss Duchess, Not Invisible Angel, I see you. Organic Cam, Ghosty, Raptor out. She's my Jerry Pie. Who drank a Mountain Dew? What a big surprise. Sheep Jerry, working at Joanne's Fabrics. They don't even carry marbles. Snary, that's Snom Jerry. Spoony the Rogue, Swoopy Scary Jerry Ton. Techno Dubs, the one Jerry who survived Unfortune Nookie. Good God. That is an accomplishment. Wear it proudly. The Necro Jerry Con, the original Jerry, not the X card. Oh, that's Ramtide's favorite card. To Infinite Jerry and beyond. To the Fish Jerry. Oh, the God. I keep trying to swim around, but I'm dummy thinking the slap of my tail fins keeps alerting the bear. Unfortunate Jerry. Couldn't think of a new gaslighting joke. Sorry, I'm such a piece of shit. God damn it. You got me good there. Tom, promise. Jerry swears all bad Jerry. Tom, be good boy. Don't switch his facts. Fully size. Go ahead, look it up. Buy it. Buy another race video. That makes sense, right? Thank you, of course, to all my $1 patrons as well. Beautiful people that they are. Beautiful Jerrys and not Jerrys all. If somebody else wants to consider supporting on the Patreon, it is ultra important to this channel. We use it for all kinds of things to move the channel forward. But if you can't afford to donate right now, don't sweat it too hard, friends. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope you'll come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. In order to do so, you need to keep yourself safe out there, wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe like watching some old ReddX videos. Do it. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely deserve it. I shall see you in the next one, and until then, bye-bye.